That's loud. Just pause.
Okay, call to order at 7 p.m. Representatives Ace, Gardner, Ritchie, and Scott and Powers are present. Representative Norman is not at the moment. She's excused and so. Okay, our new business tonight. We'll ask Representative Chase, could you please read into the?
And could I just mention that, of course, the town council's meeting at this time, so all of these are predicated upon town council approval tonight. Yeah.
So we have to get done for them to review and approve this tonight, right?
No, they just, we're a little out of order. Usually they do it and then we go, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think anybody has-
Representative Norman's on that.
Okay, great. Thank you for coming, Representative Norman. So everyone's present. Moderator Rusk is here. Public Works Director Hanover is with us, and Town Manager Burke is with us. Would you please read it?
Do you want me to read this short one or this?
Yeah, let's
one?
read the short one and then we'll read the full one on regular. How's that? So we all have our document. Everyone has the document, correct? They got the
Yes.
package from Town Clerk's office. Thank you.
Which one is
We're gonna do,
the short one?
we're gonna read the short
First one,
one.
the rowing barn roof replacement, first one on the very front page of the agenda.
This?
Yeah, rowing.
Get off the
Oh.
agenda. Discuss.
Okay, I think this is it.
All right, 2023-900-2 DECD grant rowing barn roof replacement. Resolution accepting $60,000 from the State Bond Commission for repairs to the rowing barn at Spicer Park. Whereas the town applied to the State Bond Commission for funding to repair the rowing barn at Spicer Park, and whereas the town received $60,000 from the State Bond Commission, now therefore be it resolved that the town accept the $60,000 from the State Bond Commission to make the necessary repairs to the rowing barn at Spicer Park.
So moved. With a second.
Second.
Okay, we're gonna go.
Now, this came at the request of the users of the rowing barn. It's in pretty rough shape. We applied actually for 70,000 or a little over, so it got cut back a little bit. We're a little worried about if that'll be enough for paint or not, but if we didn't get this grant, we were gonna put this in the next year's CIP. We're gonna have to do it, so it saves us 60,000 later.
I think it has character.
Yeah, but we might, yeah, but we might need a little bit of CIP money next year.
Well, maybe the people who use it all the time can go
Yeah.
and scrape and paint.
So this 60,000 is just
Instead
for
of
the
making
roof,
everybody else-
no
Correct.
painting.
Correct. Well, we'd applied for it all, but we applied for a little over 70,000.
We're gonna throw in 10 is what you're saying.
Not right now. We'll bid the roof out and then hopefully we don't run into any big issues when you get into the roof. Yeah.
Well, replacement of the roof is a whole different subject because it
Mm.
costs more for wood or whatever. If it's rotted in certain areas.
How's the rest of the building? Is it rot or?
I don't believe so. I think the roof
There's
is worth
spots
it.
that need some,
Repair.
repair. The siding, some of the doors are rotten at the bottom,
Yeah, it's little.
How are the hinges? They cattle gate doors? Or they just swing open?
I think a combination of swing and maybe some sliding doors, I'm not really sure. I don't recall off the top of my head, but
It's
it's
okay.
in pretty rough shape.
Yeah, no, I've been down there. It was in rough shape the last time I was down there. It's
Yeah.
been a while since I've been there, so I don't
Yeah.
expect it to be better.
Yeah,
No way.
yeah, in Spicer Park, where the Parks and Rec has their admin offices.
Yeah.
It's a nice spot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's used by the Fitch Rowing Club and the community has a rowing club too that stores all their shells and boats in there.
But it's used a lot, this building.
Yeah, it's used quite a bit.
When do we figure we would start this? In the spring if we?
Yeah, we
the
do
grant?
the roofing, probably in the spring, summer, and then, certainly if it comes in less than the 60, we can start, doing some of the repair work, whatever's.
Start with the roof and go from there.
Go from there, yeah, work
Okay.
from the top down.
Do you have any questions for
No,
Director Hanover? We good, Mark?
no questions. I'm all set. I'm all set.
Okay, great.
I'm all set.
Representative Norman,
I'm all good.
okay?
I'm good.
Okay, I'm gonna call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes. 7. 0-0. Okay. Next on our agenda is the CIP funding deficit. And I'm gonna ask, Representative Gardner, could you present it to the record this evening?
Okay. 2023. 864-2 CIP funding deficits. E and R. Resolution approving an additional $400,000 for the completion of the Part 4 Calvin Burrows bathroom project. Whereas the town approved funds in FY 2022 budget to renovate the bathroom at Part 4 and Calvin Burrows Park to meet ADA requirements, and whereas the town did both projects, and whereas both projects were higher than what was budgeted, now therefore be it resolved that the town appropriate an additional $400,000 from capital improvement projects fund balance to complete the two bathroom projects. Reading?
So,
I so move.
Second.
okay, we're gonna open this up for discussion, please. Representative Gardner.
John, how much do we have invested in this right now?
I'll let Craig, actually.
Well, there's two projects here. The Burrows Field, we have,
Can we separate those two projects at the moment?
well, they are separate projects, but we're asking for funds for
I know
both
we have
projects.
Let's start with the R4 bathrooms.
Sure. Yeah, we did, the architectural design of for the plans and the contract documents was about 47,000. We also did a fairly extensive asbestos abatement project we need to do underneath the floor where all the pipes had asbestos
Has that been
insulation.
done?
And that's been done.
That was
Yeah.
187,000,
That was 187 or so thousand.
which was more than I think
Yeah, we
we
had
had originally anticipated.
budgeted about 125,000 for that. So those are the two items that have been completed.
What was it, 47 again? I'm sorry?
What was the first one? Yes.
The architectural design piece.
There's also the asbestos design fees. So asbestos design fees, 99,290. Asbestos abatement contract, 186,969. And architect design fees, 47,425. As a reminder on the Part 4 bathroom, it's not only, I mean, it's a fairly complicated project, but it's not only for ADA, but it also currently players cannot gain access to the restroom until the restaurant's open. This would have add an external entry so they can actually access it anytime the golf course is
Now, that
open.
doesn't have a locker room design, correct? Just a bathroom, regular
Right.
bathroom.
Yeah, we're
How
gutting
many
that-
stalls and
we're gutting the locker room bathroom space, so there will be no more locker rooms. They don't use those anymore.
Right.
So the ADA accessible men's and women's, I think there's, a couple stalls for the men, a couple urinals, and the women's maybe 2 or 3 stalls. I don't recall.
so that design, if we're going to our RTM meeting, I'm sure we'd like to see a design if we have the architectural stuff done.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, could we bring that next
floor
time?
plan.
Yeah, that
Sure.
would be really good to have, I think.
Yeah.
As far as ramps in the buildings, going in and going out, and the door widths to the stalls and everything else, just the basic. So everybody understands why it's so much money. That's kind of getting at it.
Well, what's the total cost of that project?
Well, we bid out the construction. We had 6 bids we just received back on September 28th. And the lowest bid was $551,604. And then there was, a couple others
So
were
that
just
would
over.
be in addition to the 234,000 already spent, right?
Correct.
We also have the grant dollars as well as CIP dollars.
Yeah, we have
Okay.
285,000 grant dollars.
So shortfall's 280,000 and a little bit of change.
That's
And
just
this has been asked for, my first week I got here, this is one of the things golfers started asking for, is to have access and the ADA.
They're golfers and they want the ADA. Golfers are asking for the.
So the restaurant, yes, the restaurant users and the golfers for between the two.
Because they have
Yeah,
events there too.
yeah, they have events, yeah.
My question is, the restaurant is
Hmm.
closed off-season? When does?
No, no, it's open. It
It's
opens
open
like at
all year
11, it opens like at 11, yeah.
Okay, but it's open all year round.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So if you took the lowest bid,
Mm.
right now, we're up to $800,000 for 2 bathrooms. $785, $785,604 for 2 bathrooms.
Is that minus the $280,000 grant?
Can we walk through these numbers? Because I don't think we're all agreeing with numbers here. So
Yeah.
how much has already been approved and spent? And how much more do we need? I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here.
So we have the 47,000, right? For the, what, design?
Architecture design piece.
Okay, so we got 47,000.
And 9,200 for the asbestos design,
Okay, so I didn't add that in.
$9,200.
And then the asbestos removal was 243,684, is that correct?
7.
Yeah, that's what I have,
No.
187 was the
Yeah,
removal.
Okay, 187.
187.
Right.
Is there anything we're missing on that?
9,000.
9290.
That's one.
That was the asbestos design piece.
The architects, you have to have a plan to do it,
Mm.
yeah. It's just debate something, you have to actually have it. Well, I'm telling you, Kevin, this is asbestos. Somebody dies from that.
Plan for it.
You gotta have a plan, I'm telling you.
Plus,
Sucks,
and
but
this,
that's the way
so
it
we're
is.
at 243, 290 is what I have, is that,
Mhm. That's about right, yeah.
okay, and that is even before construction. Then we'll add the lowest bid in there of 551, 604. Yeah, I'm up at 794, 894 is what I have.
And then we originally had a CIP of 285,000. There's 41,316 remaining of that after those expenditures. And then we have a deep grant for this project, the 285,000. That makes total available right now 326,316. And then once you do the lowest bid and 10% construction contingency, that's where the shortfall 280 is.
Can we take a picture of that? Way too much information.
I'm sure you want.
Right.
And it'll never get cheaper and we'll eventually lose the grant.
We don't wanna lose.
Yeah, we gotta get this
Grant
done.
From where?
It's a bond, it's a kind of bond, it's a DECD grant or?
No, it's a deep grant.
It's a deep grant, okay.
It's a deep grant.
Department of Environmental, yeah, because it's a park facility, I suppose.
That's correct,
Park facility.
recreational
Oh,
facility.
park facility, okay.
Yeah,
We're still talking about almost $800,000 to keep that out.
If it's gonna cost $1 million next time we try it,
well, we don't want to lose the grant. you know,
Right,
we
I
have
don't
to
wanna
see
see, I don't wanna be pulling another
Well, that's
280.
that's always the excuse to keep spending more money. Oh, it's only gonna get more expensive.
That's why we vote, that's why we have.
Yeah,
our
that's what I
discussion.
vote, yeah.
Right.
Okay?
We don't think there's a way to get the cost down, yeah.
But I look at it this way. You need to keep this town afloat and looking nice. I don't want to spend the money just like you don't want to spend the money, but sometimes you have to spend money.
Right, but shouldn't the golf course pay for itself?
No, the golf courses only pay for themselves when you have condos involved. They don't ever pay for themselves. No, we're always gonna have costs. And we're required to always have this be public for the grant to get the land. So it's not like we could ever develop it or sell it or do anything.
But I thought all
It's-
that
Can-
they get comes from-
It all goes for their, yeah, they pay for all their staffing. They just don't pay for CIPs. They pay for all their staffing.
Representative Bassett.
Sean,
Yes, ma'am.
Sean, just a quick question. The golf course is public. And because it's public, we're required to be ADA compliant.
Just like our
Okay.
parks. That's
Right. My other question though is Who, who is it that came up with the original figure? That was just so incredibly low.
So it's the architect that came up with it a couple of years ago, but
Okay,
This
the
is what's
price of-
happening all around.
Yeah, the price of construction in the last 2
The-
years since COVID has just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
okay, no, I
the architect that we
understand that.
paid $40,000 to?
Yes,
Who was the one that came up with the plans?
plans and the
Yeah.
cost estimate, yeah, from a couple of years ago, yeah,
Okay,
a year or two ago.
Okay,
yes,
So, another question, if I may.
okay.
Are these restrooms ADA compliant at the moment?
No,
And how long has the ADA law been in effect? No,
Seven.
no, I think it's like 1990 or something.
Yeah, I think it's
No.
1991.
I think it's more, I think they, no, there's been different components to it, yeah.
Well, they only started putting in those ramp sidewalks,
Mm.
you know. in the
Well, I
past
think
10
that-
or 15 years.
The thing about the sidewalks and everything else, I think there's a specific for doorway entryways, bathrooms, every so often they just click the meter up. They say, okay, you got 20 years to do this. And I only know this because we did it when I worked at the church. When I did was a maintenance supervisor down there, we had to comply to it. And what happens is if you don't comply to it, your insurance rates go up. And heaven forbid somebody gets.
Well, what it affects too is if you do future grants, if it's found to be not ADA in your class of grants, that can affect that in the future. So if you get a chance to do it. So you gotta think of it this way, the other money's gone, it's a $600,000 project at this point, and $285,000 of that's a grant. So it's not gonna get any cheaper, it's gonna get more expensive, we'll lose the grants, and it's something we should
Yeah.
do.
And I'm not in disagreement with any of what we're talking about.
Did you tell them how much we have? Is this coming out of CIP?
Yeah, this is in general fund, it's coming out of this capital projects.
And did you
Fine.
tell them how much we have in there?
We have 2 million in there right now, usually we cover around 800,000 to 1 million, we're at 2 million, so we've got some,
We have some.
we've never had this much since I've been here. Yeah, so it's gonna be spent on capital projects, but
Just, yeah.
I should have mentioned that.
The 2 million in the CIP fund.
Yeah, that's what this
We're
is.
gonna spend,
Right.
we're gonna just spend some of it down. Representative Scott, questions?
No questions.
Representative Norman,
It was a little hard to hear you. You said that there's 2 million in which fund right now?
Capital projects. So not the general fund, it's capital projects.
Got it. And is this something that can be paid for at all by any of the remaining COVID relief stuff and come out of there, like of money that doesn't get spent down?
I don't
We
think
won't know about that anytime soon. Right now, they're all allocated, so unless the city seawall comes under, which we won't know for a while. And then our current this bid on the restroom, 60 days being held, is that
Yeah,
right?
they're holding
We're
it
holding the bid for 60 days, so we have to make a decision, yeah.
until the end of the year. They
Okay.
actually extended it another 30 days
Oh, okay.
beyond what we normally
So
do.
that's the 551, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All my
Representative
questions.
Massett, any more questions? We're
No,
good?
thank you, I'm fine.
Representative Fritz, question? We're good to vote?
No, we still need
to talk about the
Rose Field.
Oh, okay, what's going on with the Burroughs Field? Sorry about that.
The Burroughs Field is another ADA compliance issue, also replacing doors and partitions in the bathroom, the concession area, the counter heights are not ADA accessible. So we're lowering one of the counter heights for the concession, redoing some of the interior equipment relocations so they can people can get around them, for ADA. And then we're also just doing some, some paint and some finishes too, because the building's getting on 30 years old. It really hasn't had much
Yeah, where is it?
attention. This is on South Road, next to the railroad tracks.
Oh, yeah, yes,
Oh, yeah, okay, I know.
the Little League field.
Little League field,
Across from the airport, yeah.
I think was accessible.
Yep.
Question if I may?
Sure.
Now, getting ADA compliant is for the patrons or for the people who work the concession?
Both.
Oh, okay. Do we have any handicapped people working the concession stand?
Supposed volunteer based typically, so.
Good to
yeah.
have somebody.
Rachel can send you some volunteer stuff.
Hmm.
She asks us all the time.
Yeah.
It's the middle of my summer, I can't go help. How much is that, Greg? Can we go over that bid?
Yeah,
Please.
we bid this past summer. We got one bid in at 233,000 for this. You know, we rejected the bid because there's only one bid and we didn't know if that was high or not. So we are getting ready to put this back out to bid right now. We only have 135,000 in the CIP. So that's why we're looking to at least get up to what we need to cover that.
5,000?
And just to make sure everyone knows how CIPs work, every so often we look through, if they're closed out, if it's assigned to a project, we just put it back in into the CIP fund balance. So whatever's not spent just gets put back. And we happen to have several projects that came in under, that's why we have 2 million,
Yeah.
so.
Hey, we're doing our job here.
Well, for a while there,
Yeah,
it was spiked
really.
back down for a bit, and it spiked,
Oh, so the projects that came in under bid, what was the reasoning for that?
I don't know, but those were older, those weren't recent, those were ones that were started probably 5 years ago.
Oh,
So, yeah.
So because you only got one bid, you have to send it back out to bid. What if they come in higher than the 233 now, even including this person?
What if you only get one bid again, too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, usually when you start bidding this time of year, you get more people interested because, in the summertime, they're all working. They
The
don't.
earlier the winter you can get it out, the better, yeah.
So, my opinion is this, some of the bids come in higher. I have the utmost confidence that between these two men here in the room, we're gonna get the best prices we possibly can get. But that's just my opinion. Everybody's got one, and you know what? I trust that. I work construction. I see what the costs are. The costs are exorbitant, and to just keep putting it off, and we always talk about kicking the
Right.
can down the. We gotta stop, because it's like, Kathy, you made it
Right.
very clear. We spend all this money in the school system, we need to spend it in the community as well, and I'm for it.
It's already done the RL pass now, by the way.
Okay.
Council's done.
Oh, Director Barry has joined us also.
Maybe the fastest thing I've ever heard of.
Yes. What? Election. Everybody's gotta go bang on people's doors.
We only had three or four items,
Yeah.
and they were, one speaker, public comment, yeah.
Do we have any further questions? Representative Scott, okay, Representative.
Just a informative thing, I'm lost here trying to figure this out. You mentioned South Road, right? And what does that have to do with the golf course?
No, this is the baseball.
Baseball.
Okay, all right, all right,
Pass.
you jumped and I missed it. That's all right, I'm fine.
Some synopsis things you're talking about.
Absolutely, it is, yeah.
So, well, let me ask one more question. The lowest responsible bidder was 232. Why do you need an extra 120?
Well, we've spent, well, no, we haven't, that was a different fund. We have spent nothing to date. We only have 135,000 in the CIP for this
All right.
project.
So we've done none of the architectural.
That was spent with some previous CIP from the previous
So
year.
we do have a
So,
drawing.
yeah, we've got the drawings. Yeah, we went out to bid with it. We have the plans and specs. We went out to bid. We got the one bid.
Yeah, the 135.
So if you take the 233 at 10% for contingency, you're up to 256. So you take the 135, we're looking at 120 roughly.
Oh, what you're asking for is 120 now, if we stay at the bid we have.
To the airport.
Okay.
It's nothing.
Everybody has a lot of voices. I'm not sure who's discussing what here, but it's hard to hear on our end.
I'm sorry, Representative Scott.
We were trying to find it, so our apologies.
So Norman has a question.
Representative Norman.
Hey, yeah, can you tell me a little bit more on the Burroughs Field? Like, how many stalls is that? And even after asbestos mitigation, why is the golf course bathroom going to be $320,000 more than the Burroughs Field?
Burroughs Field is little kids.
Yeah, it's bigger.
A much bigger facility.
Yeah,
How many
Burroughs
stalls in
Field-
each?
The Burroughs Field, oh, there's a men's and women's. I think there's 2 stalls or toilet in the men's room, one urinal, and the women's has 2 stalls. And then there's a concession area where the Little League, sells food and stuff. And then that building is literally like 600 square feet. It's a smaller building, so there's really not as much work in that. Whereas the work at Par 4 is much more extensive. It's about 1,500 square feet.
Building the outdoor entrance, and, yeah.
Vestibule in the restaurant. There'll be an entrance into the area from the porch that they use outside.
Just a much larger project.
That one also has the golf course also has, we're replacing the HVAC system in space there because it's 20 years old and it's due to get replaced anyway.
Oh,
Got it. Thank you.
Representative
we-
Scott,
I'm good.
Representative Bassett,
All set, thanks.
more questions in the room? Okay. I call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 No,
No?
No,
he's a no.
I was waiting for you to say
Okay.
all the no's.
Mr. Gardner, Representative Gardner, any abstentions? 0. Okay, great. Thank you. We're on to the last item for today, and it's our, I'm gonna ask Representative Massett to read it.
Oh,
that?
no, I don't have it right in front of me.
Okay.
So someone else can read
Okay,
it.
Representative Chase can read it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
2022-312-8 miniature liquor bottle tax allocation method. Resolution approving the use of 2023 funds collected from the surcharge on miniature liquor bottles, whereas the state of Connecticut enacted a 5-cent surcharge on a miniature liquor bottles, often referred to as nip bottles, through Public Act 21-5, and whereas the funds collected through the surcharge are transferred to the town from which the sale originated, and whereas Public Act 21-58 requires the payments received to be expended on environmental measures intended to reduce the generation of solid waste or reduce the impact of litter caused by such solid waste, and whereas the town council had previously awarded calendar year 2022 funds split equally between the town's beautification committee and the town solid waste fund, and whereas the town council desires to award funds from calendar year 2023, now therefore be it resolved that the town council and the representative town meeting authorizes all funds collected in the calendar year 2023 be allocated as follows: 15% to be provided to the city of Groton, 42.5% to town's Department of Parks and Recreation for purchase of solar trash compactors, and 42.5% to the Department of Public Works to use towards the purchase of a mini trash vacuum. I so moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Mm-mm.
Representative Scott, yes.
I just have a quick question on this. One of our fellow RTM members called me the other day, worried that there had been a previous allocation from this fund that hadn't been run through the RTM. So I guess my question for you is that the 2022 funds, were they run through the RTM back in the day?
They were. They were.
Okay.
They should be. I'll double check on them. Can't imagine it wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's usually at top of this
Yeah.
stuff, and he was pretty concerned that it hadn't been run through the system. So if it has, I'm cool with it. If it hasn't, then I think we got some backtracking to do.
And I'll
That's all
double
I have
check
for
on it.
questions. Thank you.
Representative Norman.
No
any
questions. Nope.
Representative Bassett,
I'm all set.
how about everybody in the room?
I have a few questions.
Representative Gardner,
What do we, we're talking about $46,000, is that what?
Actually, that's the first half. It's about 89. We just late last week got the second half. We get basically 2 times we get payments in the year. So 89,000 total for the year.
From the state?
Well, yeah, it's a fee collected from them and passed from the state, and it has to be used on certain items, right, and certain
right,
things,
right.
yeah.
So.
Has to be used on recycling, trash
Right,
kind of
and
stuff,
right,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
I get
yeah.
it. We do have a big litter problem in this town. Right? The huge litter problem.
Yeah.
So where are these trash compactors gonna be used?
The ones that were proposed for the FYE 23 were
And just, we put in 3 in Mystic, in the last couple of months,
Already trash
Yeah.
compactors?
Mhm.
Okay,
in downtown Mystic.
that isn't part of this though.
No, that was already, that was the last one.
right. So we wanted to wait and see the effectiveness of the compactors that are down in Mystic. And Director Hanover has said that they've been very successful. And we're proposing to put either 1 or 2 at Sutton Park, 1 at Pequannock Plains, and 1 down at Esker Point Beach, which are probably our 3 most heavily used parks.
And you can do an app to monitor, like, you can do
Yes.
an app where it'll alert you if it needs something.
Yeah, so one of the things that we're looking at is, as Mr. Burt said, we're looking at this app, which will actually save us some time. So right now, the parks guys are emptying trash a number of times during the week. This will cut down on the number of times. I recognize that it's only 3 units at this point.
Right.
But it will cut down, it will tell us when it's full, so we can take those kind of out of our loop.
Right, and
And
then
it will
maybe
also, right, and it will also, because it's compactor, it will hold more trash.
Now, these aren't
Okay.
free or no Mystic, are they? They're split up in the Mystic or? are they-
Yeah, we have one in front of the Drawbridge Ice Cream by the Drawbridge. We have one in front of Bank Square Books on the corner there, and one down by the restroom building. So they're all split up.
Okay.
The other question, have you used these in the winter yet? Have you gone through that?
No, we just put them in like a month and a half ago.
All right, so you'll know more
Mhm.
on how well they work. After going through a winter.
Yeah, when the sun gets lower and,
Cover and snow.
yeah,
Okay. So you don't think of purchasing any more until you notice?
Yeah, we wouldn't purchase any until the spring anyway. We wouldn't be looking at
Okay.
putting them in now. This
right.
is-
And then and then the Department for Public Works will, we're starting to put away for the mini trash back in, with stuff up trash. We said they were 60 something to 130, 140, depending on how.
yeah, like the base model is like, 65,000, something like that, and they can run.
You're gonna use net money for that?
Part of it, yeah,
Oh.
well, start putting away.
It'll
towards
start
it, yeah.
right away.
Mhm.
Now,
Um,
how would you
Maybe I
deploy
think to
them
put
and
more,
use them?
from it.
What areas and what circumstances would you use that?
We probably would, kind of like we do street sweeping, which we have dedicated employees. That's all they do all day is street sweep. We'd probably have a guy dedicated to this unit and just go out and start, going up and down the sidewalks and.
Oh, it would be like a walk behind unit?
No, it's probably not a good picture of it here, but I mean, it's yeah, it looks like a little
Okay.
Kind of like a late pickup thing, almost like a
Yeah,
little version
yeah.
of that.
big hose in the
Try
front.
and get it on the grass, because I
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
my
okay.
neighborhood on the grass.
I like it. Can we get them to come to my house next?
Okay, a little quick,
For the leaves.
yeah.
Send it to Jen Sarsos.
This is.
So he'll do the whole town with that?
Yeah, I mean, that would,
Outside
I
the
don't-
city, yeah.
Yeah.
Over time, we're gonna
Over
collect
time.
more and more of them if they work right and
Yeah.
the
And even in the
technology's
city
there.
too, that would help a lot.
Well, that we can't tell the city what.
Well, I go down.
Okay, but we'll let you handle that.
It's funny, but I wanna, I was thinking of coming to Public Works and talking to, because where there's a curb and there's a slope, the cracks in the cement curb, the sidewalks, leak out dirt, and that piles up right by that crack, and then seeds come in and it grows up and eventually can do harm to the structure. But bottom line appears to be that when I live in a specific spot where there's a curve in a cement curve, that people like to treat as a racetrack and around the thing, but the sweeper trucks don't get rid of that dirt. and get it, we do have collection bins, 2 of them. This is at the top of Mystic going towards Groton.
You know where the firehouse is, right down. the street.
Firehouse and then the
Going in that
cemetery.
big hill.
It's really right at the cemetery. So I 2-3 times a year I go, weed whack it out and all that stuff. But the problem is dirt that on a slope collects water and seeds and it grows and the sweepers have to be really, I think, careful when they're on a slope and they have a fixed cement versus asphalt connection where there's always some space. Unlike the old asphalt ones that just went right up over to the sidewalk, there's very little, by comparison, they get it too. And I don't know if the problem is the sweepers, but I was gonna ask you about that because, yes, the leaves are a huge problem right now, especially,
Storm drains, but they do the clean out
Yeah,
stuff too. So I mean, And I
that
think-
thing would be great for the leaves. It's not gonna solve our problem of in the summer months where the dirt piles up and then
No, this is not for cleaning up dirt. This is
Yeah.
specifically for litter and stuff.
I just think they need to get closer and they're probably
Right, we
afraid
can
to
talk
do
about it
that.
afterwards if you
Yeah.
want.
do we have any more questions?
No, not for me.
None, I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 You said aye?
Any opposed? See none, no abstentions?
2 eyes tonight, hasn't it?
He's good.
Yeah, 2 out of 3.
I'm not a rubber stamper.
Okay, I'd like to have a motion here. Any
Uh,
Motion to adjourn?
So
Second.
moved.
Okay. Thank you for your time and good luck tomorrow, everyone.
And I will look at the 22 approval to make sure that went through. And I'll email it tomorrow.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, John.
I'd be
Night,
pretty
all.
shocked if it
Night.
didn't.
Good night.
Luck, everybody.
Still recording.
Sure, you're gonna have a better day on Wednesday.
Everybody in there.
Yeah, I gotta.